Salatu wassalam ala Rasulillah wa ba'd. Ikhwani, ya akhawati, it gives us great pleasure, inshallah ta'ala, to be amongst you today, inshallah ta'ala, due to the time restraints. And we have our older brother here trying to explain to us something that definitely the brother has the keys of this knowledge in his hand, being one of the only persons trained in this field. But inshallah ta'ala, looking at it as there's another program today about drugs and thugs on the other side of the city, I myself had to prepare something for this topic. So I'm learning from my brother, I'm learning from you, and we can learn together, inshallah ta'ala. From the perspective, ya ikhwan, of the issue of usul al-fiqh, we find that the ulama rabbaniyun, they have brought in two principles in Islam that are very important for us to understand concerning this issue and any other issue similar to this. From the first issue, the ulama rabbaniyun, they brought the issue of as-sadd al-dhara'i. As-sadd al-dhara'i is nipping it in the bud or stopping something before it happens. So for instance, if your neighbor's house caught on fire, the person who is curious and intelligent, they should get up and help put out the fire before anything else jumps off. The second principle the ulama they bring is the principle of daru mafasidun ala jabbi muqaddim al masalih, that stopping evil or preventing the evil takes precedence over doing the good. These are two principles in what they call usul al-fiqh. And the ulama have derived many benefits from them. From that is the example of the hadith of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, where he said, إِذَا قَالُوا الرَّجُلُ حَلَّكَ النَّاسِ فَهُوَ أَحْلَكُهُم. فِي رِوَايَةٍ آخِرٍ فِأَحْلَكُهُم. That if a man says to the people, you are destroyed, or you have become destroyed, he himself is destroyed, or in the other narration, he has destroyed them. So the analogy that the ulama have explained to us, if an individual is in the middle of a river or in the middle of a pond and somehow they're not able to swim. So for instance, you can understand from this that they're in the middle of the river and they're saying, help, help, save me, help, help, save me. And the people come and they look and they see him in the river. They look at the sign where it says, don't swim, don't trespass, only for excellent swimmers to go in there. And they say, don't you look at the sign? Didn't it tell you not to swim? We told you you're not a good swimmer. And you start scolding them. But yet, they're in the middle of the river. Help, help, save me, help, 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 save me, I'm dying. Help me, throw me a line, help me, save me. Didn't we tell you not to do this? Didn't we tell you not to do drugs? Didn't we tell you not to drink alcohol? And so on and so forth. So what the ulama say is throw them the line, reel them in first, get them out or go out and save them, put the buoy around you, save them, and then after you've saved them, then you can counsel them. So the first thing, إِذَا قَالُوا الرَّجُلُ حَلَّكَ النَّاسِ فَهُوَ أَحْلَكُهُم. If a man says that the people are destroyed, then he has destroyed them or he himself has become destroyed. So it shows you that as a Muslim community, we're only as good as our brother is or our sister is. And as we try to explain to the brothers and the sisters that Islam is a team game, almost every ayah in the Quran that talks about unity, it comes in the plural form. So us together collectively, we have to work together. And I'm going to be very brief, inshallah ta'ala, because it is my brother's workshop, inshallah ta'ala, that some of the ulama, they went on to say that the intoxicants from amongst them, alcohol and wine, it is what the ulama, they call al-khaba'id. Al-khaba'id. And usually they use this mostly for alcohol, but also drugs and intoxicants as well as alcohol. Al-khaba'id is the mother of all evils. And from that, they bring that from this is 4 to 5 different points. Number one, that it is al-miftah ash-shar. It is the keys of evil, intoxicants. It opens the doors to evil. Also, al-ra's al-khata, that it is the head of errors and lapses. Also, it is al-amr qatir wal-kaba'ir. It is the most terrible of the major sins. And also, we said before, it is al-khaba'ir, and it is also the mother of atrocities. So entering into this door of evil, ya ikhwan, if a Muslim embarks upon this, what must they do? First of all, they must implore and invoke Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because shaitan wa junudihi lanatullah alayhim, may Allah curse the devil and his companions and his soldiers. They're out to take the Muslim from the straight path and to take them into darkness. So the ulama, from what we've seen from 1,000 years ago, have said that harmful things such as drugs and the consumption of drugs has more than 120 different evil things that they bring into it. We don't have time to get into all of them. But from amongst that, the number one thing that it does is that these things, they affect the Muslim's religion. If a person is on drugs or alcohol or any of these things, most likely they're not on the salat. Most likely they're not on tahara. Most likely they're not on ibadah. Most likely they're not reading Quran. Most likely they're not making dua. Most likely they're not doing dawah, and so on and so forth. So this is the first thing that they said that it affects, is it reflects the religion. Also, it reflects on terms of their mind and on their body. Psychologically, it's going to destroy them, and in their body, it's going to give all kinds of things. So we find that ikhwan and akhwat, that they went on to say concerning this particular fact, that the damage that is done is on so many different levels that we can't even begin to enumerate them. So we're going to leave, inshallah ta'ala, just with one ayah and one hadith, and we'll leave it for our brother, inshallah ta'ala. We find where Allah ta'ala went on to say, we don't have time for the Arabic, O you who believe, intoxicants and gambling, the dedication of stones and deviation by arrows are an abomination of the devil's handiwork. So therefore, ijtanibu, avoid them, that you may prosper. And the ulama, they brought the principle, what taqwa is. Taqwa al-fi'l al-ma'mur wa tarq al-ma'dhur. Or al-fi'l al-ma'mur wa ijtanibu. That fearing Allah is doing what Allah told us to do and staying away what Allah told us to be involved in. So khamr and alcohol and drugs, all these things clearly the Quran and the Sunnah has told us. And we leave it, inshallah ta'ala, with the final hadith where the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he said, hadith in Sahih Muslim, we'll give you actually two. Every intoxicant is a khamr, is a wine or a form of intoxicant, and all of that is haram. Also the Prophet said in another hadith, whatever intoxicates in great quantity, also it is bad in small quantity. So whether you take one sip of alcohol or you take 1,000,000 sips, whether you smoke one puff of weed or 1,000,000, it's all the same in the eyes of Allah. With that, هذا ما عندي وصلى الله وسلم على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين. بارك الله فيكم جميعا.